We'd like to welcome you to our first ever Spring Sports Media Day. Great teams here today from all of our 7 high schools representing softball and our baseball teams. Super to have each and every one of you here, and I'm sure we're all expecting some terrific weather coming up soon, right?
Oh, yeah.
We need to have it. It's already better than last year, though. Last year at this time, we probably weren't even outside. A lot of us had to play our first game without ever being outside, so we're way ahead of schedule now. But we're happy that you're all here, and we hope that you have a good day today. We would be remiss if we didn't thank APS for being here today, and we're going to be able to watch this on videotape replay. It'll be something that you are certainly going to want to watch when it comes on APS. We'd like to also thank our media table here, and Coach Vassilotti will we'll introduce those people in a few minutes. Especially the Drive is here, 1350 a.m., where we talk City Series sports every Thursday on there. So if you would, at around 5 o'clock, if you listen to 1350, some of you will be busy playing games now, but every Thursday at 5 o'clock on 1350, you can hear us talk about the City Series update. So listen for that. You can hear some great stories on there as well. Thanks to you guys for coming. Without further ado, I'd like to turn things over to our coordinator for athletics, Mr. Joe Vassilotti.
Thanks, Coach. I always call him Coach. It's just a habit, coach to coach. So I have a lot of thank yous first to Beth and Ron for helping me out tremendously in the office this year as I've become acclimated to APS. And APS Athletics have really enjoyed it. Look forward to working through the spring here with all of you. Want to thank AEA for hosting us. When I approached Pat Shipe about it, she was enthusiastic and accommodating and asked, when do you want it? What do you want us to do? Who's coming? And they've been great, with the tradition of football and basketball. And now we want to do this in the spring, as Mr. Linger pointed out, too. So thanks to AEA, Pat and Bill Sigford, who's here, and everyone else who's helped. We deeply appreciate it. Round of applause for them. As Mr. Linger mentioned, we have some distinguished media here today. Back table from my left to right, Joe Dunn from The Drive, 1350 Sports. To his left, Michael Bevan from the Beacon Journal, our high school sports writer. Joe's partner on The Drive, Tom Linder from 1350. From APS 15, we have Peter and Ryan. And who am I forgetting? Karen.
Karen's here.
The photog from the Beacon Journal. So make sure you smile for Karen. We appreciate their coverage and all that they do for APS Athletics. We also have an MCOR table in the back. You might have seen it and heard of MCOR already. But they're a group that's worked with us this year already in a few of our schools, and we'll work with the rest of them here in the spring to offer free cardiac screenings for athletes. And from MCOR is Liz Belcher here to my right, who will speak in more detail about what they do and the great opportunity they offer our student athletes and really our schools, our families in general. So I'll turn it over to Liz here for some comments.
Thanks, Joe. The American Heart Association says that one young competitive athlete dies every 3 days. That means under the age of 18, we have 17 kids a day in the United States having a heart attack. That devastates a community, a school, and especially a family. So through our foundation, with the help of Coach Tom Ryan and some generous donors, Coach Tom Ryan is the Ohio State wrestling coach who lost his son Teague to sudden cardiac arrest at the age of 5. So through donations, we're able to screen Ellett, Buchtel, and Firestone, 30 kids at each school for free. And we met some incredible staff members, administration, and kids. And we found 6 abnormalities in those kids. But that's why we do it, because I never want to have a parent get that call from a coach, a teacher, an AD that their kid is no longer here. And I'm sure you heard last week, 2 kids in this area, Revere High School track star and a 7th grade track person from Barberton, just last week. So our goal is to try to screen every kid possible. And I want every kid to know CPR and where your defibrillators are in the school, because you may, and you probably will in your lifetime, have to use it. And if we can come in for free and teach you guys that, that's our goal, and educate you guys. Because Akron Public, and working with this entire group, between Joe, Roland, and everyone else I've met. You guys are incredible. And our goal is to try to screen every kid in Akron Public Schools. If you guys have questions, I definitely will be here afterwards because we will be screening East, North, Garfield, and Kenmore, thank you, in the next coming months. And we definitely want every single one of you guys to make sure you guys are signed up to be screened. And educate your friends because it does happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. And those screenings will take place late April and early May at those 4 schools. Ellett, Buchtel, and Firestone already had their screenings done earlier before the first of the year. She mentioned local examples, unfortunately, that have happened recently. So it's important to take advantage of that. Student athletes, spread the word to your parents. Your principals will be making an all-call home to provide further information about that soon. So thanks, Liz. The format is such today that eventually we'll hear briefly from each coach, and we'll start with softball first. And we'll go reverse alphabetical order. So Coach Burnside, you'll be first up. You'll set the tone. But each coach will be asked to introduce the players accompanying him or her, and then speak briefly about the team's prospects for this year, especially in the City Series. I know spring weather can be challenging with sports, as Mr. Linger alluded to with the weather. I used to coach baseball way back when, and it was always kind of frustrating in the spring. You don't know day to day whether you're playing. We got a big game scheduled, but we might be inside just hitting in the batting cage. It always makes me think of athletics in general and the old cliche about controllables, and you truly can't control Mother Nature. We get frustrated with Mother Nature, but to worry about it excessively and get too frustrating can be counterproductive. So that would be an example of something mentally that student athletes you can certainly control. And I know the ones in this room today are leaders on your team, or you wouldn't be here. So, how you adjust to those situations is going to rub off on your teammates. So I'd encourage you to stay mentally tough through that type of controllable situation, meaning you can control your attitude about Mother Nature and how disappointing that can be at times. But hopefully with the El Nino and all that, we have a nice warm and semi-dry spring, and we play a lot of softball and baseball. The other aspect of controlling attitudes comes up, I know, in every sport, but I think back to baseball when I played and I coached. Sometimes the umpires don't always make the call you think should be made. That happens, right? Umpires are human, and they tend to make mistakes sometimes, but how you respond to that certainly is something you can control. And, resist the urge to stare them down, or certainly say something, or throw your bat or throw your helmet in anger. So when you talk about being leaders of your teams and setting the tone for your team, that's certainly a way you can do that as well. We have a lot of leaders in the room, like I said, or you wouldn't be here, and you'll get your chance to come up here and be introduced. So especially want to address the seniors here. How many seniors do we have in the room? All right, so this is your last time around here. I know some of you have played multiple sports. I see a few of you I know have played 3 sports this year, and I have to commend you on that, because that's not easy these days especially. But this is it. So savor every moment. You're gonna miss the kind of the small aspects, I think, of participation that you don't think about much now. But maybe the bus rides home from a big win, or just the moments before or after practice or a game where you're hanging around your teammates. So those are moments to savor and soak it all in, you seniors, and have a great season. Look forward to seeing you compete out there. So without further ado, we'll start our coaches and players introductions. So Coach Burnside, you and your North players come on up.
Hey, appreciate that.
Look at that. The leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Like most of us here, this is our first one, so this is going to be interesting to sit and to listen to everyone talk. At North this year, it's the first year that we actually have an entire roster of girls that have only played in our system. I'm starting my 5th year at Akron North, and this year we will field a team that is very young. We have only 1 senior on our roster, so we are going to be learning as we go this year. We have a lot of talent, but it's young, inexperienced talent, and so it has to grow. But I've been blessed. The girls have worked hard. The girls have built the program. The girls have bought into the system, which makes it very easy for us as coaches to work with them. The three young ladies I brought with me today, in order, is our junior shortstop, Mary Pat Nicodemus, also one of our team captains. Sajana Meadows, another junior, our starting catcher, captain. And last but not least, our starting third baseman, Caitlin Booth, who is also a junior. Like I said, we have only one senior on our roster. I'm going to let them speak, and then I'll finish up on the prospects of the rest of the team and just how I see the City Series going. So first, Mary Pat Nicodemus.
Okay. So this season, I'm looking forward to it greatly. We have bonded very well. We have a very young team, and I see greatness for the future.
Good afternoon, everyone. This season, I think, is going to be a learning experience for a lot of our players since it is a very young team. Team chemistry is also being developed right now because we're all new to playing with each other. But it's just something that comes with playing and game experience. But I think that we will do very well this season. I can't wait.
Like Sashiana said, we're all learning, and since we have a young roster, we be learning with them, and we shall have a great season. Thank you.
Don't believe they're this shy. Totally different people when they step on the field. Very upstart young ladies behind me, probably some of the best that North has produced, both athletically and as community members. The City Series, I think, is wide open this year. I think we're going to see some of the best competition that we've seen in recent years. Things are really starting to balance out. Of course, we still have Ellett right there at the top. Chuck's been there forever and does a phenomenal job building that program over and over, bringing girls up as people graduate. Everybody in the City Series follows Chuck's lead. I mean, that is the consummate program in the City Series. But again, I see everybody coming closer and closer and building. The talent is phenomenal. East, Kenmore, Garfield, Buchtel, even with new coach taking over this year, things look up. And us growing like everyone else. I think it's going to be some of the funnest softball that I participated in my 5 years. I'm looking forward to a very competitive season. Thank you.
Now, being the leadoff hitter, Coach Burnside was swinging for the fences clearly, but coaches, your players do not have to speak unless you really want them to. But clearly, he was testing their grace under pressure. Ladies, you did a great job. Next, we'll hear from Coach Cooper from Kenmore.
Yes, exactly. All right. I'm from Kenmore, been there about 10 years now. Last year we had a pretty decent year. Hopefully we're going to build on that this year. I have 7 returning starters, including senior shortstop Kristen Moore, third baseman, junior third baseman Amber Howe, and returning pitcher, which is Michaela Taylor. So like I said, we're trying to build on what we did last year. We went 10-2 in the city, but like Paul was saying, the whole city's wide open. We all got to follow Chuck, of course, but we're all getting there eventually. I just want to talk about what Coach was saying earlier about athletes. These two here are 3 sports stars at Kenmore, which is awesome. But more importantly than that, to me, is that they're number 1 in their class, 4.1 cumulative and 4.0 cumulative, and that's awesome. Scholar athletes is the best thing you can do. So everybody in here, keep up the schoolwork and then get into college, play college ball. Thanks.
Coach DiDonato from Garfield.
Well, I sort of like what Mr. Burnside did, putting the girls on the spot as well, but they've sort of begged me not to do that. Good afternoon. My name's John DiDonato. I'm at Garfield High School, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank God. God works in mysterious ways, and I did not anticipate that I would be up here coaching, although that's something that I've wanted to do all my life. Sometimes when life closes a door, he opens up a window. And being at Garfield High School, where I graduated, I truly feel that this is an opportunity that I'm just blessed to have. I also want to thank Joe and Ron and Beth. Just quickly, just since I've been involved here, you know, a lot of the equipment that I took over was sort of depleted, and we've got some new helmets and a couple of bats, and I thank them for, you know, providing Sarah the funds for us to get some of that equipment. I also like to thank my building principal, Frank Kalane, and Sarah Leffler, our AD, for having the confidence to choose me to lead the Lady Rams this year. As I mentioned, I'm a proud graduate of Garfield High School in the Ram tradition, and I'm really thrilled about taking the lessons that can be learned in athletics, and I know the coaches probably feel the same way, and being able to use that, especially in today's society, to really make a difference and teach these girls, teach the athletes, you know, how to be successful, not only on the field, but in life. You're going to be faced with a lot of challenges when you get out of school. And things that you do in softball or baseball or just sports in general, dedication, determination, the willing to not be afraid to fail, those things are going to last a lifetime for you well after you're done playing softball. So I know I'm probably one of the only coaches that can say I had an undefeated season last year, right? Seeing being I'm the first, 0-0 coach here. But we're going to build a competitive program at Garfield. We know that it's not a sprint. We know that there are no shortcuts to success. We know that to find success is going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of commitment to continuously improve each and every day. And that's best represented by somebody that a lot of you guys know, Vince Lombardi, who said, we're going to chase perfection, knowing full well that we will never receive or never achieve it. But along the way, we're going to catch excellence. And that's what we're going to try to instill at Garfield High School, is them to continuously improve each and every day. This year, we had a lot of interest in tryouts. I was pleasantly surprised. We had, better turnouts than what they've said they've had in recent years. We had up to 25 girls try out, which is really a nice thing to have. But what surprised me the most, and I think, Paul, you sort of touched on it, was there's a lot of girls that have never played the sport before. And, softball, when that ball's coming in there, they can get pretty, antsy about that. And they really stayed with it and really saw it out. And, that was a nice thing to see. We have a good group of girls. We're excited about it. They've been practicing hard and working to get better each and every day, learning the game. We're going to be anchored by 3 returning players. 2 of them I have up here, and then 1 senior who had played before a couple years back. The girls I brought up first would be Cameron Woodley. She's a 10th grader. Cam represented us last year as our City Series selection as a catcher for us, and she's a tremendous, versatile player. She's always somebody that just, is a very welcoming person. She goes out of her way to say hello and get the girls engaged. She always has a smile on her face. But more importantly than being a versatile player, she's a great person. And, her mom and dad should be very proud of her. She leads by example. And then Katara Motley, who played second base for us last year. She's a multi-sport student, athlete. Also does very well in the classroom. Honor roll. Although she's very quiet, When she smiles, her smile will light up the room. And so we're looking for both of these girls to be leaders. They're both very unselfish. We're going to have to probably make some adjustments this year, being so young. Katera, I probably imagine moving her from second base to the outfield, take advantage of her speed and being able to track some balls down there out there for us. So I'm looking for some positive things, and they're going to be key to our success. Although we are young, once again, I think that maybe the whole city is young, but we want to build this competitive spirit at Garfield. We want to establish ourselves back into the Garfield tradition of when I went to school there, and that's competing for the championship. We're missing that, and we want to bring that back to Garfield. And the best way to do that is through hard work and commitment to improve each and every day, and also to not be afraid to fail, because that's when you learn. And we're up for the challenge that this faces, and we meet challenges like all good Rams do. Horns up, Ram on.
Next from Firestone softball, Coach Paschke.
Hi, I'm Chris Paschke. I'm from Firestone High School. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because we got to get back to class. The two young ladies I brought here are both excellent student athletes. They have high GPAs and they're great in the community. And every day that I see them, they always have a nice smile on their face and they always say hello to everybody that walks by them. First one is Liana Wahid. She's a junior. She'll probably end up playing third base for us. And Monique Coleman is our only senior, and she'll play left field. We are very, very young. We have 8 freshmen this year and only 3 sophomores, and then the 1 junior and 1 senior. So we'll be learning together, and the kids are all working very hard. That's one of the things that my assistant coach and I were talking about. The kids are all working hard and they're coachable. That's the one good thing. Being young and having kids that are coachable makes the job real easy. Other than that, that's basically all I got.
Thanks, Coach.
From Ellet softball, Coach Schumann.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank Joe, Ron, and Beth. For so many years, things take place, but it's very comforting to know that we have a voice, and we know that our voice is going to be heard when we give you our concerns and our benefits. But we appreciate the effort you guys have done. It's a great atmosphere to work in. It's a great atmosphere for our coaches and athletes to be in. And at the same time, to the media, thank you for coming. I was born a City Series person. I grew up in East Akron, played at East High School. So City Series has been in my life, and we take a lot of pride in it. I take pride in it. And we try to impose the same pride with our girls and our athletic program. So that's our first goal each year, is to take care of the City Series aspect of our program. I brought with me 2 of our outstanding athletes. One thing at Ellet, we've been blessed that in the community, softball has been an emphasis. These girls have grown up with softball. It's evident when they step on the field. The parents know what softball is all about, and we take pride in it. They take pride in it. And it's no secret, when the girls walk into our gym, they walk in with a lot of softball experience. There's summers they play softball, and our girls are good. And I found out that when our girls are good, I'm a better coach. And when other girls are better, then my coaching doesn't get as good. But with me today, right closest to me, is our catcher, Alyssa Cook. She's an outstanding player. We know what pitching emphasis is in softball. But if you don't have a catcher, or I should say, if you have a solid catcher, boy, things go much easier. She calls all of our pitches, number one, probably because she knows more than what I do about pitching. and she can handle the batters. So we give that to her. She handles our team as a director out there on the field, and just been outstanding for us for 3 years, and this will be her 4th year as a starting catcher for us. That's Alyssa Cook. And next to Alyssa is Jenna Golden. Jenna was a member of the city championship volleyball team, an outstanding athlete. She's at shortstop for us right now. Last year, she was a second base person. Outstanding athlete, outstanding player, and both of them are leaders our girls look up to. They know that when they step up, they can satisfy the 2 girls behind me, and that's what it's all about. When you got good leadership and you got a team that we always preach to our girls that, and I always tell them about when I listen to an interview on the field after Coach Trussell won a national championship at Youngstown State, and the reporter got him right away and said, "Coach Trussell, how do you attribute this that you get this accomplished with your athletes?" And he says, "All I know is there are 75 guys out there that love one another." And I really believe that. When you got, especially in girls sports, when you got a team that love each other and they care about each other and what takes place with them, if they're feeling good, they pump them up. If they're feeling bad, they pump them up. And I think that's very important in the softball program, especially with the girls, as I said. As far as our team this year, we're also young. We're replacing 5 starters who are actually 4-year starters for us at Ella. And we'll be having a new pitcher. We have a couple girls that are working on the pitching situation for us. We have 2 sophomores, Maddie Anderson and Lexi Schultz, who pitched some last year, but our senior handled most of it. And we're replacing 2 infielders and an outfielder. So overall, our team, we have 14 freshmen, which is more than our upper 3-classmen combined. But as I said, we're looking forward to it. They're good athletes. They are softball players. They always, number one goal, as I said, the number one goal is take care of their league situation. And then whatever comes from that afterwards is icing on the cake. We look forward to it. We're proud of our city. I'm proud of the people that we work with. I think all the coaches, I commend you, because I know it's an uphill battle sometimes when you're playing with girls that don't have quite the experience. And we take nothing for granted. I never take anything for granted. I think I'm motivated by the fear of losing. That every time we step on the field, I think the team, if we don't play well and take care of our business, the team can beat us. So we look at things that way. We expect our girls to play well. We expect to have a successful season, and we hope our girls follow that way. But again, thank you for this opportunity. Good luck to everybody, baseball and softball, and we'll be seeing you out in the playing field. Thank you.
You know, we have a few East alums in the room, including Mr. Dunn back there, Mr. Linger, Mr. Schumann. Am I forgetting anybody?
Mr. Dunn's Garfield.
I thought you were East.
No, we got Garfield.
Oh, he was the enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm giving you too much credit. I grew up in Firestone Park. That's right. It was a different era, right? But next up will be East. Unable to make today's Coach Booker, but Coach Kramer is here to speak for East softball. Come on up, ladies.
Thank you, Mr. Pasquale, Mr. Linger. Coach Booker he will be back for the start of the season. He had to get surgery, so I'm filling in. I'm Coach Kramer. I brought today Courtney Hill and Mikaira Martin. And one thing at East, our softball program, we really pride ourselves on is leadership and academics. The softball team holds the highest GPA of any sports team at East High. Courtney Hill is a 4-year returning letterman. She plays shortstop and pitcher. Mikaira is 4-year returning letterman. She's pitcher, first base. Anywhere you want her. Pretty much anywhere. When Courtney Hill, she just qualified for DECA Nationals, so she'll be leaving us for a week and going to Nashville, Tennessee, but we're proud of her. And Mikaira got a full ride scholarship to Kent State for academics, so that's very commendable. This year at East, we have 8 returning 8 returning starters. We're looking at Caitlin Hill to fill in for the catching position. We are pretty solid defensively. We have, for hitting, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we have some good power hitters. A few freshmen have came in, have taken some of those roles, and we look to be a contender in this city series.
We have a fantastic first-year coach. She just started with us this year, so let's hear from Ms. Kramer.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Taking over Brookville softball this year, our last softball team will hear from Coach Stockard and Lady Griffins.
How you doing? My name is Courtney Stockard. It's my first year at Brookville as a softball coach, as the Garfield coach. I also have a 0-0 record too. The young ladies on the team didn't know how to take me because I'm a little stern, a little serious. I know when to play. I know when not to play. So the first day I met them, I told them, I'm sorry because I'm going to talk to you like an athlete. And I need you to understand like an athlete. So eventually, sometime during the season, I'm going to hurt your feelings. So I'm telling you I'm sorry right now. I need you to excuse the delivery, but not the message. I do really mean what I'm saying, and I need you to listen and pay attention. Just the other day, I told them I have a very big impact statement for you. I told them, listen to understand, don't listen to talk. Because then it becomes an argument that only one of us is going to win because it's only one coach. I'm preaching to them about getting along with each other and loving each other and getting along. And also it's a sisterhood plus me and my 2 other male coaches. We're in the way. They let me know we were at the bottom of the barrel. We had 0-13 last year. We only can go up from here. So I have Devonna Singfield here. She plays 3rd base for us. She's our 2nd-year player. We have a team full of 2nd-year players. She juggles a hectic schedule. She tried out for cheerleading yesterday. She does her part in the community. She works for Chuck E. Cheese. She hangs out with the kids and does everything she can for them. She also models, and it's just a busy and hectic schedule. Over here, I have Brittany Vasquez from Harlem. I keep teasing her about being from Brooklyn. She hates being from Brooklyn. She's from Harlem, New York. She's probably the most experienced and maybe the best glove and the best pitcher on the team. She plays every position well, every position. She holds down a job. She works at the Akron Summit County Library. She's there as much as she can. She has the ability to be probably the best player on the team as well as a team leader. I'm looking for great things. She's our only senior on the team. Only senior. We have a team full of 2nd-year players, and they're also busy. So it's a struggle with practice time, playing time, and we just got outside too as well. As, the weather's been bad for everyone. But we're looking for great things in the city, and they say it's wide open, but I keep hearing about Chuck Schumann. So hopefully it's not too bad when we get there because they're learning, and they really want to play. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach Stockard. Great point about listening, too. That was a great quote. So true. Next, we'll switch to baseball, of course. And like with softball, we'll start with North. And for North Baseball, Coach Freiberger.
Okay, Coach Freiberger, not much of a public speaker, so excuse me for any misspeaks I may have here, but 11th season coaching baseball at North, 9th on the varsity level. It seems like, I think every year at North we're kind of rebuilding up there. We've got 2 starters back from last year's team. 14 kids, I think, is what we've got total. of those 14 kids, we probably got 4 with more than 2 years of baseball experience. So every day we're working on getting better, just like every team there. A lot of people ask me, what about a city championship? Well, the best team in the city can't win a city championship unless they're getting better every single day. And that's where we start with these guys. I get a little emotional sometimes that these guys work hard, and I definitely appreciate what they do. With me today, I've got Spencer Pearson. He's a senior this year. He's been with me 4 years. I think Spencer in his 4 years at North has played every position except catcher. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Tommy is in his 3rd season with us, and they are definitely 2 leaders on our team. They work good with the kids that don't have much experience, helping them. I can't be coaching 14 different kids all the time, so these guys do a great job, just teaching basics that some teams don't have to teach. We're teaching what foot to step with, those kind of things. So these guys are a big help in a lot of areas. I can't leave my softball girls hanging. We're going to have these guys say a few words, and then I'll finish up. Spencer?
Alrighty. We have definitely kept our hopes high at North. We have continued to keep our hopes high ever since I started playing here, even though we are definitely a struggling team. Thanks to Coach Fred, he keeps pushing us to be better, and yeah, thanks.
I have high hopes for this year. What we lack in talent, we have in heart, and with coaches like Fred and the other coaches, we can go a long way this year.
I'll finish with what Tommy said there, and one thing we definitely preach is we can't control if we have more talent than the other team, but what we can control is our heart and our effort, and we preach that every day. Practice like you're going to play. Don't come out here and take practice lightly. We got to practice like we're going to play, and these guys do that every day. So that's all I've got.
Now from Kenmore, Coach Nauer cannot be with us today, but pinch hitting for him, Coach Geiner and Coach Z. That'd be much easier to say. I should have thought of that beforehand. Coach Z for Kenmore Baseball.
Your number 1 pinch hitter, too.
Hi, I'm Coach Geiner from Kenmore. I'm here on behalf of Coach Nauer, who couldn't make it today. I've got 2 seniors here today with me, whose names I don't know. It's Darrell Daniels Vaught and Jordan Nye, our shortstop and center fielder, respectively. We've got 5 seniors on this team this year. They're all pretty good ball players, but the thing that I'm most hopeful about is that we brought in a class of freshmen and sophomores that look like they're going to make us a solid contender. So I want to just let you coaches at Firestone and Ellett know we're coming after you. Okay? Again, we try to teach the same fundamentals as everybody else does, but when you get kids in that start off with fundamentals that they got at an earlier age, it really helps your program. So if you don't have to kind of teach them how to field a ground ball and which foot to throw off of and things like that, it really makes your job easier as a coach. And I just want to say we're very proud of our kids, and we're expecting a lot from them this year. That's all I've got. I'm going to keep it short.
Thank you, Coach Z. From Garfield Baseball, Coach Reno.
All right, good afternoon. Just like to start by thanking, the Department of Athletics for putting this on. I think this is a great idea to start this up for the spring sports, baseball and softball especially. This is my 16th year coaching at Garfield. I've been the head coach for 14 years, ever since I finished my education and playing career at Walsh University. I've been with the Garfield Rams and try to just, get these guys to work as hard as they can and to, have the best, get the best out of themselves, reach their potential. Last year, I think we were a little bit below 500 in the league. We're looking to improve on that. I'm hoping to be in contention as long as these guys keep working hard. I just hope that we've worked hard enough, and we're going to find out here real soon once we start with our games. Who I brought is a 4-year starter for me. This is Hunter First. He's a senior. He led our team in batting average last year with RBIs and stolen bases. His best position will be center field. I think before Lafayette Martin here started playing with us last year, Hunter also played a little bit of first base, but now that's Lafayette's role with our squad. So Lafayette Martin, Hunter first, and also my third senior is Adam Waters. I do have 8 returning starters. I only graduated 1 senior last year, so I'm hoping that these 2 gentlemen can lead us and we can improve on what we've been the last couple of years. Just kind of keep making strides. So once again, thank you, and good luck to all the teams out there.
From Firestone Baseball, Coach Brooks.
All right. I brought with me 2 of my 4 captains. My junior shortstop, Dustin James, and my junior catcher, Matt Deese. I wasn't going to bring all 4 guys because we were told just to bring 2, and I kind of saved you guys the experience of DeMonte Swain because he probably would have gotten the phone number of every girl in the room by now, and I thought maybe I would spare you that. We are really, really looking forward to this season. Only 1 freshman and 2 sophomores. So we have 12 juniors and seniors. 6 of those are returning starters. And 9 of those at least played on the team last year. We're also very excited because starting on Monday, we leave for a spring trip in Myrtle Beach, where we will hopefully get to play 4 games guaranteed weather-wise. Rather than sit around here during spring break and fight the cold weather and the rain. So hopefully our goal is that maybe gives us a leg up to where we have 4 games in the bank before we start the city schedule and before we start our regular schedule. This is my 2nd year here. My goal when I took over was, number 1, to win the city series, and number 2, to make some noise in the playoffs. City series, as everybody that's in the room knows, last year didn't go our way. 3 one-run games to Ellett, all very closely contested. And in order to be the best in the city, you have to beat the best in the city. And right now, that's Ellett. We hope to change that this year. So that's our goal. And just like Coach Z said, they're coming for us. We're coming for Ellett this year. So throw the gauntlet down a little bit. I'm really looking forward to this season. That's all I have.
All right, then. Well, it's appropriate. Ellett's up next. Coach Sarver.
I would also like to thank the media and all the staff for putting this together. Since I've been here in '99, joined Ellett, and I had 2 years at Bookdale. Previous to that, I had 1 year. My first coaching job was at Kenmore years ago. So in all those years of city baseball and spring sports, we never were able to have this, and sure appreciate it. It sure is nice to have this. We need all the exposure we can get. Going through some stuff back in August and September, my dad passed away, and going through all the stuff, I didn't know he saved literally every article I think that was in the Beacon from when I played and from years past. And looking at some of the old articles back in the 60s, 70s, early 80s of City Series sports was just phenomenal how much the Beacon was able to cover. And because that's just a smaller staff, or because of expenses, they're not able to do as much, but we sure appreciate all the exposure we can get from all the media, and we sure appreciate them being here. I brought 2 outstanding players, but they're not just outstanding players. They're both seniors. They're outstanding people, outstanding students, and just want to give them a chance to maybe express their thoughts before I start. Dustin Franklin.
I'm a senior. I'm mainly a pitcher. We lost a lot of our starters last year. They all graduated, and we have a lot of young pitchers this year. I'm really looking forward to working with our young pitchers and teaching them what it means to pitch at a varsity level.
My name's Derek Cook. I'm also a senior. We did lose a lot of pitching this year, and I think the success of this team is going to be held within our hitting. And we have only 3 seniors and 2 sophomores, and pretty much just a team with a junior class. And I think if we can work through our pitching downfalls and hit the baseball, we'll be all right.
Well, they look at it as losses, and I look at it as young kids that grow up, because we are very young. With 4 seniors, half our senior group is here. But along with them, I also know that you always have to pitch to play good baseball. And these young guys are working very hard. It's interesting to have that. And luckily I grew up in Ellett, and I know the community well. And knowing the kind of kids that come up, I think, like all of us, we know that sometimes coaching can do so much. You got to have players. You got to have people that can play. And at Ellett, I've been blessed with that, and it's been very nice. And just hope for the best. We'll also compete well in league games and non-league games. We try to play the best possible schedule just to keep us improving all the time. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity to do this. Thank you very much.
Next from the East Dragons, Coach Rusnick.
I'm Chuck Rusnick. This is my 4th or 5th year at East. They start to run together a little bit. In addition to thanking everybody, the people I want to thank are the coaches in the coaching community. When you coach at a place like East, we got guys who can't afford cleats, who can't afford gloves, who can't afford practice pants, who can't afford just about anything baseball-wise. And last year I reached out to the baseball coaches community and asked them for some help. And the support was amazing. Fred gave us some stuff. The guys from Sican Central Catholic loaded my Wrangler and another car full of things. Went all through Cleveland and Akron and Canton, and just got tons of things so that our guys can have cleats and practice pants, and we can groom our field and line it and all that kind of stuff to make it seem like we're a real baseball team. I brought with me Dennis Horringer. He's a senior catcher. He's been with a starter for 4 years. He is an amazing kid, leader on the team, probably a 3rd coach, if anything else. And Lamonte Shaver, he's a junior. He's going to be our center fielder. When folks ask me how the team's going to be, I always say, I said this to Coach Kramer, cautiously optimistic. Because we have so many kids that are just starting to play baseball, and we have to literally, like Fred does, teach them how to throw, how to catch, 2 hands, break in mitts, all that kind of thing. So, but the leaps and bounds that they've taken, and with the help of guys like these two, has been amazing, and it makes coaching worthwhile when you see those kind of things happen. So I'm just grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that we were invited to come, and I hope that everybody has a safe and healthy season. Thanks.
And finally from Buchtel Baseball, Coach Vaughn.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thankful for this opportunity for APS Athletics. I'm the head coach, Howard Vaughn. I'm also the school resource officer at Buchtel, so these kids get to see me in another light during the day. I I don't know what to say about these guys right here. These guys right here are student athletes, well recognized in their community, very active in their church. First, I have Jermaine Brock. He's a sophomore, a returning starter, right fielder, carries a 3.8 grade point average, and he took on a leadership role this year. Didn't have much guys out a couple months ago. I honestly didn't even know if we were going to field a team, and I was sort of depressed. I was down, and he said, "Coach, I'm gonna get them here, man. I'm gonna get them here. We got guys coming from wrestling. We got guys coming from basketball. We got guys who never played baseball, but they know how you feel about the game, and they know that you can get them ready to compete on a high level." And I appreciate this kid for that. Next, I have Dwight Austin, a returning player, second-year player. He's my ace. He's my starting pitcher this year. It's my speed demon. I mean, he's very fast. He is a 4.0 student. And again, just a leader, just a good kid who manages to get everybody going in practice, to bring up the level of play, to help out others who may struggle. As Coach Remy said, throwing, how to hold a bat, how to position yourself when you bunt. I mean, I have a son who's 8 years old, and it's almost like teaching T-ball again. And we have to start from T-ball and bring these kids up to play at a high school level. And I appreciate each and every city coach, every game we play you guys, that you understand what we're dealing with and what we're trying to do as we compete against you. And I've enjoyed every bit of it. And I look forward to this season as well, competing against you. Like I said, we were, I believe, 1-11 in the city. So we have nowhere to go but up, just like our softball team. And I would love to win a city championship. I dream of the Cinderella run, just knocking off everybody and looking at Coach Sarver saying, "I got you, Coach," But realistically, baseball in West Akron, it's dying in my community. When I grew up, it was thriving. We look forward to playing baseball, and we're trying to get that back over in West Akron. We got a lot of football players and basketball players, but we're trying to get baseball back on the map. And with the help of these guys and the help of the couple seniors that I have returning, I have 4 returning seniors, 2 starters, and I actually have a very young class, I believe, of mainly sophomores and just a couple freshmen. So we're young, but we're looking to compete on a high level. And good luck to all you coaches this year, and thanks for having us.
Thanks so much to all the coaches and players for being here today. I know spring break's coming up, be a nice break from school. Most, if not all of you, will have your sport going on and non-league contests, I'm sure. April 4th, when we come back to school, appropriately enough, City Series play begins for baseball and softball. So really looking forward to seeing all of you compete. And when I coached, whatever sport it was, I always hoped before a contest for good sportsmanship on the part of both teams and for both teams to play to the best of their abilities. So I certainly wish that for all of you. Embrace it, especially you seniors. It's the last time around for a high school sport. So savor every day and every minute of that. And be leaders on your teams. Communicate with your coaches if issues arise. And, the old notion of PMA, an old Coach Dennison notion from University of Akron, is positive mental attitude, meaning expect it not to be easy, expect to have problems, but be ready to handle those in a mature, positive way. Now, on your way out, don't be shy about grabbing a cookie or two. You'll be a hit back at school if you take them back there. And coaches, make yourselves accessible, please, to the media in the back just for a couple minutes, if you would. If you have questions for Liz from MCOR, please ask. Thanks, everyone.